Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to another stream. And for those who will be watching the stream later, again, thank you for all of the support. I know it's been a few days since my last stream. I think it's almost been a full week, maybe even a little bit, like 8 days or something. It's just been a very hectic past few days, unfortunately. I think I was talking about in my last stream, my car got stolen, and I've also been planning for Ramadan, trying to just get a bunch of different schedules aligned. I'm trying to do some really fun interviews, and so it's just been a very hectic, just past this month. Honestly, it's been a little bit of a drag, but inshallah we'll make it to Ramadan, and inshallah all of our Ramadans will be accepted. So that will be very exciting. Today we're gonna be watching this debate. This to give you guys some context. I guess this debate happened in 2023, and this is when before Godlogic became popular on YouTube. And so we're gonna give this debate a little bit of a listen here in about a few minutes or so. But yeah, I guess just to kind of warm up and wait for a few people to join. Some of the things I'm super excited for coming in the next couple weeks here in terms of content wise is that we're gonna probably take it a little bit slower on the streaming. We'll probably only stream like once a week. Maybe we might stream like twice a week for the next few weeks here coming up until Ramadan. I really don't want to get burnt out because for Ramadan, inshallah, I'll be streaming about an hour and a half to 2 hours like I typically do, but every single day. We're gonna be doing this like a little bit of a fundraiser to hopefully raise some money for some families in Gaza, inshallah. And so it should be pretty fun. I'm planning a bunch of, like little lectures, like kind of about how I became a Muslim, some of my favorite things about Islam, some of the things I wish I knew before becoming a Muslim, things like that. And then I'm also going to be having, hopefully, inshallah, a lot of different interviews that will be super exciting. And so, yeah, that's what I've just been really focusing on these past few weeks here is just making sure I have everything ready so that by the time Ramadan happens, I can just kind of just show up, right? I can kind of just, just show up and do the stream and be super relaxing rather than trying to force everything. Walaikum salam, Inkat. How's it going, brother? Good to see you. So yeah, we got that's kind of the plan is to, my goal is I want to, I'm working with one of my close friends. He's also a revert. He's an older gentleman. He is trying to fundraise some money for some families he's been working with since 2022 in Gaza, so I'm going to be helping him out. And I think he's also working with a few other groups as well. And so that will be super exciting. And I kind of want to, like gamify it to help, bring awareness, help do some dawah to the Muslim Brotherhood and sisterhood during Ramadan. And so, yeah, it's just been kind of like a lot of thinking and like planning for, what I want Ramadan to look like on a content wise. And so, but yeah, today's video, we're just going to react to this one video here. This is going to be, like I said, Muslim Lantern. He does his typical, he brings people on, just like every other, religion influencer to debate. And this was when Godlogic was a smaller creator a few years ago. And lo and behold, he's finally posting this now, and so it should be super interesting. But yeah, don't forget, please like and subscribe. It really helps, one, keep me motivated, and two, it helps me understand, like, especially your guys' comments helps me understand like what you guys want to see and watch and what you want me to react to, as well as future content as well. But yeah, thank you guys for the few who have joined so far. Jazakallah. It's always great to see old people, new people in the stream, and so I think we're just gonna hop in. Like I said, we're only gonna react to one video today. I got some things to do later here, but I wanted to make sure I got a stream in this week because I know I haven't streamed in like 8 days or so. So let's get into this.
So how can I help you, Godlogic? How can I? So to give a bit of context, this is actually an old clip from 2023, nearly actually 3 years ago. This was my only interaction with this guy. So you might be wondering, why am I uploading it today? Why I didn't upload this conversation before?
Walaikum salam, Izzy. How's it going? Yeah, we're gonna just hop into this quickly here, but I know we just started, so I want to make sure I answered all the salams first, of course. But how are you doing, Izzy?
The most important thing is that this guy, when I had a conversation with him, I had no clue who he was, and it was barely known on social media. And I did sense, as you will see in the video, this guy is just coming for popularity, fame, to give himself, shout outs to people.
And yeah, I mean, I know everyone and their mother and their Muslim brother and Christian sister and whatever have seen, the nonsense that went down with both Godlogic and Sheikh Uthman. Honestly, it was kind of tough. Like just to be full, transparent, third party, whatever. Just to be extremely fair, right? Like if Sheikh Uthman, I don't know the full context, but if Sheikh Uthman actually invited Godlogic to come debate or whatever the situation was, at least have a discussion to some degree, and then he doesn't, it should have been better ran. Like he should have not done it during a time when he was talking at a mosque, right? Like he should have made a time and a place. Come here, we will be ready. Bring the cameras or whatever. It wasn't a good look, to be honest, from Sheikh Uthman, in my opinion. It wasn't great. Can we help you help the person? Yes. So yeah, Izzy, I'm still getting some more. I'm still gonna get some more details about it. But yes, we're gonna do kind of like a fundraising goal, and so yeah, I'll have a ton of information for you guys. But yeah, I'm still speaking with the guy he's the one who's running it, and I'm gonna be helping him out. I'm still speaking with him, but yes. I would love any support from you guys because I'm gonna put in an X amount of money. And then my goal is to raise around $1,000, hopefully, inshallah. But hopefully we can raise more, right? It's the spirit of Ramadan. But yeah, walaikum salam, Ivan. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it was kind of yeah. So we're gonna do a lot of fun stuff for Ramadan, and inshallah it can be a great community effort, and inshallah it will be. We'll do a lot of great things to help some families. Like he was telling me that they have gotten with the people that they're working with, they're able to get gallons of water for 5 cents and 6 cents. And that includes the travel from wherever. I think they're sending the water from America to Gaza. And so they got it down even with travel included 5 cents and 6 cents. And so, if people really want to help me on this fundraising journey, just $1 could do so much. It would be amazing. And so, yeah. Hey, Steve, tightrope, by the way. So you can't, don't be disrespectful to my God, just, or you will get muted very quickly here. And so yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna be a really fun time. Like I said, I have a lot of friends who are super down to help, with my goal of, interviews and fundraising. And so it should be fun. It should be fun. And we're going to spend some good dawah, and I'm going to talk a lot about my past. And so it's going to be cool. I've been working a lot on it. But yeah, look, so, no, actually, I really like Muslim Lantern. He's very chill, and he's very, not everyone's the best when they're on camera all the time, right? But I mean, I really like his demeanor and his manner. He does very well what he does. But yeah, for sure, like going back to the Sheikh Uthman and Godlogic thing, it was kind of an L, from Sheikh Uthman's from my perspective. If you're saying hey, come debate, don't say oh, I'm actually busy at this point, because it's anyone can use that type of propaganda against you. And hopefully inshallah Sheikh Uthman had proper intentions, and hopefully inshallah he wanted to actually debate him, but just from optics it didn't look great. But yeah, we're gonna hop into this video now. But yeah, thank you, Izzy, for your support. May Allah reward you for just even your effort.
Can actually know who this guy is. So I made sure not to give him what he was looking for, which is not uploading the video, not allowing him to have that video on YouTube. But sadly, since then, almost all major du'at have given him a platform, made him popular, which is very sad. But I mean, the case is different today. This guy is known, so it's not the same. The second thing is that this guy actually, which is really funny, he uploaded this conversation behind the paywall on his Patreon.
Yeah, and then you're like, let's go see who Godlogic really is, or whatever, or Muslim Lantern is. I mean, like I will say I'm very, and I know some of y'all's favorite, Muslim influencers, Christian influencers, whatever, monetize their channel, and I get it. Everyone's trying to get their bread up, but like at the end of the day, like come on, like we're just up here just talking, like, and you're just trying to monetize everything. It's I don't know. I'm if you're talking about religion and then you're like, oh, by the way, donate to me. Oh, by the way, like, send me super chats or all of these things, and then you're pocketing the money. I mean, what's the difference between that and like a super church, right? Or like a mega church or whatever those pastors are. It's like I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, like if you're really trying to preach the word of God, whether you believe in the Trinity or whether, for myself and what I believe in, obviously Allah Azza wa Jal, it's just like come on, like, and then you're trying to monetize off of that. It unfortunately it could corrupt your mind where you're gonna try and just do things for likes and clicks and views and all of this stuff, and it's and you can see that when on some of the content from both Muslim streamers and Christian streamers, like, just to be fully transparent, right? You can see them trying to make jokes or make fun of people, whatever, just for clips and views and whatever, and it's just like, dude, like, the ultimate goal is Jannah, where no money is gonna help you get there, and it's like, if you're just trying to monetize off of everything, what are your true intentions here? And then, mashallah, another shahada. We're gonna start seeing more and more of those, which is awesome. Yeah, no, for sure. Mars, like, definitely showed up late. But then it's just like, he was gonna spin the story anyways, and it's like, it made Sheikh, like, ultimately it did make Sheikh Uthman look bad. Which is like, that's the unfortunate thing about Dawah. That's the unfortunate thing, like, even going back to clicks and views and all of this stuff. Then Sheikh Uthman kept on streaming and to be like, oh, he's running. It's like, dude, like, ultimately, like, just the whole situation just looked whack. Like, just to be honest, like, it was just whack. And so yeah, I actually like Sheikh Uthman. I've only seen a few of his videos, and I think he seems like a pretty sincere guy, but it wasn't a good look in my opinion.
So imagine being one of his fans and paying
and we're not perfect all the time, right? There's gonna be mistakes, there's gonna be miscommunications, there's gonna be likes and clicks and views on YouTube and different narratives and whatever. It happens, right? It's totally normal if things happen.
To watch this guy getting schooled. I really feel sorry for the people watching this guy. I'm not gonna lie, but someone told me he did that, so I was like, okay, we're gonna put the video out so he doesn't exploit his poor fan base watching him get schooled. Even one of his fans uploaded this conversation on YouTube like a few months ago, and what's so funny is he titled the video around that he won the conversation, but he got so many comments of mocking him and telling him that the conversation is showing the opposite. So he literally had to change the title. So you'll see in this video why these kind of Christian apologists get schooled every time they actually engage with someone who knows what they're talking about. And why, most importantly, it's a waste of time to engage with them because they're not sincere and not looking for anything. So yeah, enjoy the video. But first, I have a question for you. Some people are saying you are anti-Islam, or
it's not Trinity. But I'm not even gonna waste my time talking about that.
You curse Islam, or you're negative towards Islam, or you've been insulting to other du'at and other brothers and things like that. So I'm giving you a chance to basically clarify these things, because these are all just now anonymous information coming. So I do not take anonymous information. So let's hear from the source. Yes.
I appreciate that, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for letting me on.
No problem.
Number one. Yeah, but to answer your question directly,
it's just crazy. Like, just like thinking about what has changed in the past 3 years.
I do criticize. I have my criticisms against Islam. I'm a Christian myself. I have interfaith dialogues all the time, and as you know, someone who does this, these things can get quite emotional when you pose positions that people disagree with, especially when they're super passionate. So if you want to see for yourself, or you'll see in this conversation. If everybody's
but
cool
you said Yeah, you said something about like getting passionate. Is it? Look, I get passionate sometimes, no problem. But you're not going to see me being abusive. I'm not going to use bad terms towards Christians or any other faith. And everyone has a challenge now. I have hundreds of videos online. Go find me where I'm being abusive or using cursing language towards any community. That's a challenge I can put, and I will continue to put. So I'm talking about this specifically, using cursing language, demeaning language, being passionate.
Yeah, it was honestly interesting. So I went to this event this weekend. My friend, his dad sold like 100,000 guitars in his lifetime. Pretty awesome. And everyone was a Christian there. And, you know, it was very interesting, especially when talking about religion. And, you know, just talking to people that are not online, right? It's just a totally different vibe than what we the slop we see between influencers. So, you know, I think that it's actually made me really reflect on how, like, you know, obviously, ultimately, you know, there's only so much bridge building we can do, but, you know, maybe it's worth a shot sometimes rather than just continuing on with this like internet slop of, you know, schooling and debating and whatever. Even though I did title like who won the title, so, you know, I guess it's, you know, it's like maybe there's a way around it, but it also depends on the people, and we have to remember that people offline are way different than people online.
And it is not an excuse to do that. So you're saying you don't do that?
No, yeah, I don't cuss. I don't cuss personally myself. I don't believe as Christians that we should use curse words.
I mean, yo, we need to go fast forward to when he went on Korah's stream and the things that he said about Korah. I mean, wow, what a changed individual.
When it comes to matching, but you know, there are times where I match people's energy, where I'm getting insulted, and so upon being provoked, that's when I'll respond. Sometimes, not all the time, but I'll respond with a similar energy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like now he's gone full overboard. I mean, I watched one of his streams, and it was like Muslims hate their Quran and they hate Allah, and you're like, buddy, like, it's just the most like mind-boggling thing that someone would want to cause so much hate between, you know, religion. And it's obviously because, I mean, hey, is he trying to make a quick buck off of this? I don't know the guy personally, but it doesn't look great.
Sometimes I actually just take it on the chin. A lot of times I don't respond to insults and stuff like that, but sometimes I do. And I
what about mocking other dua or things like that? Is that true?
Mocking?
Muslims basically, people who invite to Islam and
I match energy with energy. If the person that I'm speaking to,
you're being ambiguous there, you know, by match energy, you know. Okay, so you're saying if someone is abusive, you'll be abusive back. Is that what you're saying?
I will sometimes, yes.
But shouldn't you be a better human being and not to give a negative energy towards negative energy being towards you? Like, even if some people come and be abusive on this channel, I don't give them the same energy. Doesn't Christianity teach to give the other cheek?
It's so that's to our brothers.
To love your enemies and all of these different verses that we always hear Christians quoting, right?
I love the ones who insult my mother and stuff like that. I won't insult their mother back or whatever. I may something.
All right, this is just a lot of waffle. Jeez, can we get into the meat?
Who insults your mother?
Yes, I do. The ones who curse me, my Lord compels me.
I didn't say that, but okay.
But still, it's, you know, when it comes to, you know,
you think Muzzle Lantern's not the one who's stalling here, buddy?
The type of vibe that we're in and the energy, I will talk trash back. I have no problem talking trash back.
Yeah. And hopefully we can all be better, isn't it? Hopefully we can all try to be better, inshallah, and not to give the same, because Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, this is a teaching now in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, ادفع بالتي هي أحسن السيئة. Push evil that is coming towards you, repel the evil that is coming towards you with goodness. فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. You'll find the person that he was as if he's your enemy. I
mean, where is he lying?
Will be like your closest friend. The person who's giving you this negative energy and evil energy, the Quran, this is the teaching of the Quran, is that you repel this negative energy that is coming towards you by being good and giving goodness towards the individual, and you'll see surprising results, you know? Okay.
Okay, so Godlogic got on the stage. What's the deal? What's going on? What does he want to talk about?
So, you're coming on here, so you probably have something you want to ask a question or something like that. What is it? What can I help you with? Yes.
Before we get into the conversation, I want to see if I can get your permission, if I can also post our discussion in full, no cuts or edits like that, but also on my channel as well. Is that okay with you?
How many subscribers do you have?
85,000. Thank the Lord.
I do not know, to be honest. The reason I do not know is because I do not like people to try to get promotions from my discussions with them. This is not something that I like,
I mean, I don't know about that one. I hear what he's saying by not permission, because it is his channel, so it is his rules. But I mean, it is fair use. He is on the internet, and anyways.
Obviously, you can. I do not know. I don't think I can tell you to do that. And maybe I'm not even going to upload this discussion on my channel. I'll make that decision. And the reason is, perhaps I find that it's better for me not to give you promotion. And I'm not being demeaning by saying that to you, but like factually, I do have more audience than you do have more audience. So I see more of a benefit for you than it is for me to upload that on my channel. I could do it. I could not do. Maybe we'll see after the discussion. I'll give you the answer to that question at the end of the discussion. Just remind me and I'll tell you. Let's see how the discussion goes first.
Okay. All right. Okay. So my question, I heard you talking earlier to, I forgot the sister's name, but, you mentioned morality in Islam. You said that it was, Islam is for the world and things of this nature. And so this is where
you gotta remember, this is some 2023 stuff. So this is gonna get some old stuff.
I have a huge critique when it comes to the morality in Islam. I believe that it does teach some things that are, to be real deplorable. Mm-hmm. So the number one thing for me would be the child marriage.
Okay. Now, before you start getting into, because this is the thing, there's no point of me having a discussion if you're.
Walaikum salam, Basharm.
Aim of this discussion is to just have a shotgun tactic, where you will just throw claims and then expect me to.
Yeah, let us know how we can help.
To answer one.
No.
I'm just setting forth that kind of, obviously, the understanding, so we know where we're going. I'm not accusing you of doing it. I'm saying that this is how it should be. This is not what I do on my channel, where I bring people to throw literally shotgun tactics and then I answer them. That's not how it works. So I will allow you to ask. You can now determine now what kind of questions you ask. I'll allow you to ask 2 questions specifically, and then I will ask you 2 questions in return. And then we can end the discussion there. So that can be a little bit better, because it's already 11 o'clock here. I've already been live for a while.
Okay.
So let's
catch you on another time when you have more time, because I would like to have like a full conversation, which I don't want us to be rushed or anything like that. Just no pressure on close.
You already started with doing what every Christian does, is like throw these common misconceptions about Islam, or common fabricated, or things which appear. No, I'm gonna talk. I told you I'll allow you to ask the questions, isn't it? So I don't have an issue with you asking the questions. It's not like this is new for me. But the thing is, I don't like to do this. This is for me wasting time. If someone comes and asks the common questions that everyone asks, the same nonsense that every like, I'm not saying what you're doing. I'm saying if someone does that and comes like just throws nonsense and leaves today or tomorrow, I will know from your questions if we need to engage and do more or not. Like, I like to set forth everything from the beginning.
All right, yeah, a little bit of a waffle now.
I would allow someone. You've seen there's all of them, and I like this, but this is what I do, right? Whether they're being sincere, up to you now. You can see how things are, but going from what you just said.
By going into the conversation, you already said, oh, I don't want, the Christians doing the shotgun thing. Shotgunning is when you're boom points, right? Over and over, back to back, just in the random, But I have a specific topic that I just had in mind when you brought it up. And I was like, oh, okay, I wonder what he thinks about this. And
I didn't bring up the topic that you asked about.
Walaikum salam, Supa, man. How's it going, bro?
No.
Good to hear from you.
2.5 hours of discussion. That's not true.
No, what I'm saying is that you part of morality, and that's what, triggered this for me. It's like, okay, so in this realm of Islamic morality, I want to talk about this and see what he thinks about this.
Okay.
And it's just just regular conversation.
And again.
Yeah, Michael. I mean, that whole thing was just a bunch of nonsense, to be honest. Like, it just seemed like some drama that could be taken offline.
I repeat the same thing I said. You're welcome to ask any questions that you like. I did not say you can ask this or that. I just told you have a limit of questions, 2 for you, 2 for me, which is completely fair. I didn't say 4 for me and 2 for you, 3 for me and 1 for you. I say it's fair discussion.
Why do we have to limit the questions? Why can't we just flow?
This is my rules, You're welcome to make your own rules on your own channel, This is.
I'll follow your lead. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Okay, so.
Which is fair. I honestly, Godlogic, it probably would have been better if he didn't preface that he was going to post on his channel.
I'm limited to 2 questions. I guess I got to formulate this with, so hopefully we can get to the meat of the matter. So in regards to child marriage, let me just ask you this. Here's the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe at any point that there's a point where child relations is immoral?
Elaborate what you mean by child relations. What do you mean by that? First, to understand your question, define a child. Second thing, define what do you mean by child relations.
Let's say one who has not reached puberty yet. Let's go with that. So that's like kind of the general.
Okay, so the definition that was known throughout humanity, basically, that a child is someone who's under the age of puberty. That's the definition until they started inventing a new one recently. In every dictionary, it was a child is someone who's under the age of puberty, and an adult someone who reaches the age of puberty. This is how it was. Okay, so I don't have a problem with that definition because I believe that is the human definition. Open any dictionary, any English dictionary in the past, they will have that definition. Okay?
Yeah.
And?
Yeah, I mean, this is just classic present tense for sure.
So yeah, so
the relations that you're talking about. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, having I don't want to get your thing flagged, but for grown men to have relations with
okay.
sexual...
So you're, from a perverted point of view, you're asking a question, right?
Well, that is a perverted.
Okay. Now, okay. So this is your question, and the answer to that question is, we have a criteria, very simple criteria,
and we have to know that the Quran offers the base level criteria, right? Like, this is at its basic form. It's almost like the best way I can explain this is that it's almost like the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, with the expectations that things would be essentially modified over time, right? I can't remember his name, but there's this 14th century Islamic jurist who he famously said that that the laws within the Quran are supposed to be well fitted for that specific culture, time, and space, right? And so, obviously in some places, like in Western, even in the Western world, which is not even true, there's certain age limits to, what is considered consent. We have places like Germany and Italy that have 14 years old as consent. And then we have places like, in most of America, like 30 states, it's like 18 years old, which is totally perfect and normal. It makes sense, alhamdulillah. And then, we have places like, it's been talked about before, like Ethiopia, predominantly Christian country, has, I think it's like 40% of their population is child marriage, which is obviously unfortunate. And it's obviously due to, poor economic conditions and education conditions. And just same thing like Iraq, right? They have, child marriages 9 years old, which is obviously unfortunate. That shouldn't be a situation in 2026 with proper education and with proper economic status, but they've had to face regime change, sanctions, loss of life to probably almost like 5 million people, 500,000 children in just the 90s alone. And so, it's unfortunate that religion gets pointed to this one part here. But we know the truth, right? And it says in the Quran that it has to be a person who can consent and reaches puberty, right? And consent and puberty aren't bounded by just the numerical age of someone. Obviously, for someone like me, I follow the laws of California, and alhamdulillah, these are laws that I'm glad to follow because I believe in them.
Is that no one can have intercourse or relation with anyone at any age if...
So, I mean, it's too early. Like the first 10 minutes was waffle. Like Godlogic being like, oh, I'm not going to disrespect you, but if you make fun of me, I'm going to make fun of you, and I'm not going to cuss, but if you cuss, I'm going to bring the same energy, things like this. And so, and then Muslim Lantern was like, okay, yeah, sure, what's your point? And then Muslim Lantern was like, all right, two questions. And so yeah, nothing has been materialized just yet.
Certain things are not there, whether they are a child, they are an adult, they're whatever it is. If there is any harm physically on that individual or psychologically on that individual in the future or in the present, then that type of intercourse is not permissible. So that person can be the age of 90, 95, and then if you have intercourse with that woman, it will harm her physically, that's not permissible. Does not matter whether it's a child or that person is the age of 90. If that person is too young to the extent in which you having intercourse with them will cause them trauma, will cause them psychological issues, this and that, then that is completely impermissible in Islam, and that is based on the Prophet's statement.
Which is, again, true. Like, you have to remember that the Quran came in, it's the basic laws, right? It's the foundation of the laws of society, right? And it introduced consent, which wasn't a part of Jewish law, it wasn't a part of Roman law, it wasn't a part of Christian law. It wasn't a part of Christian law until the 12th century, right? So the Quran, funny enough, was actually very progressive for its time. And it made sure that there was a proper minimum expectations when it came to legal marriage, right? You had to be physically there, right, through puberty, and you had to have consent. And so obviously with time, things have been essentially retrofitted to fit certain societies and cultures, alhamdulillah, and that was the main purpose of the Quran at the same time.
La dara wa la darar. You're not allowed to cause harm to anyone or yourself. That is a principle. That is one of the main principles that are used in Islam to determine rulings.
So just to be so my question to you, the first, because I remember you gave me two, so I just wanted to make sure I was specific. I don't want to go over and stuff like that. My question was, do you believe that sexual relations with a child, and we understand what a child is now, at any point is immoral?
I answered you by giving you the general law of how we understand things.
A general law of how you understand things does not answer my question.
Meaning what determines, no, it does answer your question. So I said to you the age is irrelevant. I said to you what determines it to be moral or immoral, because your question is a moral question. I said to you what determines something to be moral or immoral is there physical or psychological harm on that individual or no? Now, if you anyways, relationships is only in marriage anyway. And from an Islamic perspective, you don't have sexual relations outside of marriage anyway.
I know, what a weird question. That's funny.
So also has to be under all of the rules that to do with marriage now. So these two, and also the idea of marriage, because marriage is a necessity for you to have intercourse or have a sexual relation with someone from an Islamic perspective.
Also, we got a packed house today, alhamdulillah. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat, especially all my Muslim brothers and sisters.
So I did answer you, because I said it's not about age. You asked about the morality. I said what determines it to be moral or immoral, it is these two principles. So whenever they are there, it is both of them or one of them. Whenever they are there at any age, it becomes immoral. And whenever they're not there, then that is permissible under the marriage, as I said, under all of the pretext of the marriages and the marriage happening in an Islamic way.
All right, so I just want to make sure I understand you. There's a few things I disagree with about like marriage being required for sexual intercourse, and like with sex slaves, I don't think that's there, but that's something else. When it comes to children, you're saying that as long as it doesn't hurt the child, then it is okay. Child sex relations is okay as long as it doesn't hurt the child. Is that correct?
I didn't use that terminology. I use my terminology. You can take it or leave it. I don't care. You want me to give you a specific answer with certain words you're looking for? I'm not going to give you what you're looking for. I'll give you a general principle that applies to all cases and scenarios. And this shows you're not looking for the answer. You're trying to look for a specific terminology that you want me to specifically
give. This is like classic Godlogic behavior, to be honest. Like just trying to pigeonhole people into, certain positions and phrasing. It's pretty classic.
And I already give you an answer. You like it, you can take it, you leave it, is up to you. When you mention sex slave and you try to do again what I said, the shotgun tactic by throwing a low blow, by trying to mention something as if you've not mentioned it, and I'm going to let it go this time, but next time I will consider it a question. Because you are mentioning something and that you're trying to imply. Because in Islam, there's no such thing as a sex slave. And from what I recall, the Bible says you can beat your slave to death, and if he dies a day later, there's no problem because he's your property. So I can do that. I can do these low blows and throw verses here and there. I don't do that. So we stick on the question and the specific things. You ask.
Yeah. He was already. He literally called them out in the beginning. That's a dub. That's a W.
Question about when it is moral, when it is not moral, sexual relations, and then I answered you whether they are a child or not a child. If these two things are present, then it is not permissible. If they're not present, then it is impermissible. Simple, done.
Which is why the general thing that you're giving me is not a direct answer to my question to you, Muhammad.
I don't need to answer you the way you like. This is my answer.
This is just okay. I just want to just get this out if I can. Is that when I asked you a very straightforward question, it's either yes or no, like type of thing, right? You gave me the general understanding of this, which is cool. It's fine.
And we also have to remember that this argument about Aisha, may Allah, be pleased with her and give her peace and blessings, is that this argument is like a 21st century argument or like a 20th century argument. So this wasn't an argument for around 1300 years. There's all these other criticisms of the Prophet, of the Holy Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So many other criticisms. And this one happens to just come in 1400 years later, right? Like, it just shows that this is presentism. Obviously, we live in a way better educated society. We live in a way better, economic conditions as well. And we have the luxury of, understanding that, hey, actually, even just creating laws of that just fit the culture, right? And like I said, the Quran was 400 or 500 years earlier than most of like the Greek laws, the Jewish laws, the Christian laws when it came around marriage specifically. And so things have aged with time. And again, just like how the Quran has aged with time. It still is just the basic of like the basic formula. Like if you strip it down, right? It's clearly stated that you have to reach puberty and you have to have consent within marriage.
Actually agree with you. According to the law, according to the jurisprudence, you are allowed, as long as it doesn't hurt the girl, as long as she's able for it and it doesn't hurt her, you are allowed to
hurt her from which way? Physically or psychologically?
Physically.
Oh, so not psychologically.
It doesn't mention that in the Sharia.
No, and it does mention it because I told you what mentions it. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ.
Well, from what I saw from the jurisprudence, and I could show you.
I've studied jurisprudence more than you, so I know it does say. So I am correcting you. I am correcting you there. That's not the case.
Well, wait.
It is taken. Look, they say things which are obvious are not to be mentioned.
That is true. We are buying up the churches.
So scholars do not need to mention every specific detail of everything. So there's a general rule. It's one of the main principles I've already mentioned you in Islam. One of 5 major principles in jurisprudence is the idea of harm. Anything that causes harm to the person or another individual is by necessity not permissible. Cannot be causing harm to other people. And I'll give you the hadith of the Prophet. It's irrelevant what they say in their books. I already gave you what the Prophet himself, literally, right? Where the religion comes from, said. So you can say they said this, they didn't say that. So if anyone can establish that there is a psychological harm that will take place, then that becomes impermissible. Now, again, I think I did deal with that question. I don't like to go in circles for hundreds of years answering the same thing. If you want to move to the next point, we can answer it. Otherwise, it seems like you want to stick on one point, trying to do a specific thing.
No.
I don't waste my time to do that.
Like I said, flowing conversation. If I can just make one last thing on that, just responding to you, and I'll be done. Sure, if that's okay.
No, because you're asking a question. How would you respond if you're asking a question?
Well, no, because I'm not asking a question per se. I'm responding to what you said before I ask my second.
This is just classic, like talking about debating.
Question.
So you already have a point of view that you want to demonstrate, but you're asking me the question to pretend that you're looking for an answer, but in reality, you just want to say what you have in your mind.
So this is what it is with Muhammad.
Or is it that you're looking for an answer? Which one is it?
Let me tell you. Okay.
Oh, tell me.
So I've studied the subject, right? I've looked at the jurisprudence. I looked at the tafsirs. I looked at the scholars. I looked at this stuff.
Okay.
And so I have, what I believe in my conclusion based off the information that I have, on the conclusion that I have, right? And I'm willing to have that discussion with you. And if I can, if you can show me something where I'm missing a thing, I'm willing to take that. I'm not opposed to new information that you present, but I'm just hoping that we can actually talk about it. But it sounds it's like you're kind of shying away from the full conversation. You don't want to talk about it.
Gaslighting doesn't work, by the way, and I will highlight if you try to gaslight.
Well, so then
you speaking on my behalf. It's gaslighting. Trying to say I'm shying away from the conversation. So that doesn't work, with all due respect.
But you did that to me, saying I'm shotgunning, I'm throwing low blows.
That's not true.
So yeah, this is an interesting point that someone just brought up, that the Prophet actually had 11 wives, I'm pretty sure, not 12. And I think the majority of every single one of his wives, except for Aisha, well, actually Aisha was previously engaged, but every single one of his wives, I think 5 or 6 of them were divorced. And the reasons why they were divorced, the majority of them was because their husbands died in battlefield. And so instead of them just being divorced with child and that child becoming an orphan, because an orphan in Islam, and according to the Quran, is someone without a father, the Prophet essentially took them in, right? And he made, and he took care of those wives financially, and obviously took care of those wives as a husband as well. And so, it is pretty remarkable how the Holy Prophet Rasulullah did, he wasn't taking 11 other virgin wives, as people try to make him seem like. He was taking wives whose husbands have died in battlefield, who already had children, if not multiple children, and didn't want those children to become orphans.
You're saying that you're gaslighting. You can say those things about me.
Yeah, you're right. Widowed and divorced. But his first wife was divorced. He had a few of them that were divorced, and a few of them that were widowed.
So if you're
every single one of his wives were either non-virgin, all of them were except for Aisha, and either divorced or widowed.
No. Okay, look, you are now, with all respect, lying, respectfully. Because I said in the beginning, I'm not accusing you of doing that, but Christians do these shotgun tactics. I was very clear saying that. If you want me to rewind the video now live, I can do it, right? So don't accuse me of something I didn't say. I'm not accusing you of doing it. I'm saying that this is how it should be. I actually was very explicit saying I'm not accusing you of that. So please do not misrepresent my position, right? Look, I'm very careful. Look, I'm very careful about what I say, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing, I was also very careful that you're allowed to ask 2 questions. And then I answered your question, and then you asked the question again, I repeated the answer again. Then you asked the question again, I repeated the answer again. And that's why I said, we're not going to keep going in a circle of me repeating the same question hundreds of times, right? It's wasting my time and the viewer's time. If you got a question...
I'm asking the same question. I just wanted to respond to what you just said so we can move on, if I can.
No, this is a person asking the other person's questions here. It's not. I'm not here to debate. I'm here to answer questions. You asked a question, I answered you.
Which is fair. This... honestly, we probably just need a real debate between these two at this point, right? Because it seems like Muslim Lantern, his YouTube's and this is coming from a revert, right? Who hasn't even really debate, but yeah, when when it comes to debating, dude, it takes a lot of energy. I mean, I have to debate you guys all, a lot of you online all the time. I had Michael come into my Discord on Sunday being trying to debate me, and I'm like, dude, I'm out and about, bruv. But if Muslim Lantern, if his stream was specifically about hey, you can ask me questions, this isn't gonna be a debate, and then someone's trying to push a debate, it's dog, this is just a Q&A. And it's dude, if it's a debate day, then let's get on the debate. But if it's a Q&A and we're just vibing out, streaming on YouTube, then it's let's keep it what it is.
Now I'll let you say the point. Look, I'll let you say the point because you seem like you wanna get something out. So get it out now. So we can move on. Go ahead.
I appreciate you. So
no problem. Yes.
In response to what you were saying, you said that you knew the jurisprudence on this. So do I. And according to the jurisprudence,
so you know the jurisprudence.
On this particular subject.
On this issue. Okay, so what did Imam Shafi'i say in his book Al-Umm about this?
Wait, hold on. So I can pull up the Encyclopedia of Jurisprudence where they give...
No. There's no such thing as an Encyclopedia of Jurisprudence that Muslims take to be reliable.
Can I share my screen then and show you?
No, I cannot allow you to share. I don't know what you're going to show on your screen. I don't know you, with all the respect. I have to make you share the screen, How
about I send you the link and you show it?
What link are you going to send?
I'll send it to you. And
before you send it, what is it that you want to show?
Okay, it gives the ruling from the 4 schools of jurisprudence on marrying.
Which website? Which website? Which website?
Let me give it to you. It's from Dora.net.
What is it?
Dora.net? What? What is this absolute heinous website that he's using, bruv?
RA.net.
Okay, I've never heard of this website in my life.
Dora.net. Yo, hey. Oh, okay, that's classic. That's hilarious. Yo, what's your site? What's your Islamic jurisprudence site? Dora.net.
It is look. When someone says I've studied.
Well, yeah, I mean, Paul, this video is from 2023, or this debate specifically. Muslim Lantern posted it just this week, but this debate is from 2023.
Is the jurisprudence?
So that's why it's 3 years old.
That means they've opened the books of the schools of thought. I don't think you even know. Can you tell me the names of the four schools of thought of Islam?
You have Hanafi.
Without googling, please. Can you move your hand from the keyboard, please?
I'm literally going off memory.
Tell me what are the names. No, look at me and tell me, please, because you study the jurisprudence. Please don't do this because I respect people who are honest. You can say.
Yeah, he is literally. He's literally the biggest apologist. Yeah, on Dora the Explorer website. That is awesome. Honestly, yo, that's a banger line.
Hey, I do not know.
What I'm looking at right now is
already Googled.
I can't.
Okay, can you look at me, please?
Can I send you the link?
Can you look at me? No. Okay. Can you tell me what is the names of the jurisprudence? No, again, you're looking at the screen. Please, I can see you. Okay. Tell me.
Two that I can off the top of my head are Shafi'i and Hanafi. There's two that I can.
There are four.
I know.
Look at me, please.
I just said that there's two.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, like, you know, like even from my perspective, like, you know, when I first started this like YouTube journey, I mean, you know, streaming, you know, I came in thinking like, you know, which, you know, fair enough. You know, I have been studying, I have learned a lot, but I know I have way more to learn as well. It's funny when, you know, especially people who don't speak the language or who aren't trying to speak the language or, you know, just, you know, come out here and try to talk against someone who is, you know, born Muslim, seems like, I don't know Muslim Lantern at all, but he says he knows jurisprudence. He probably has read the Quran in Arabic, you know, alhamdulillah. But, you know, coming in with like clear authority, like, oh, I know jurisprudence, you know, you know it, but I also know it. It's like, dog, like you're going up against the wrong guy, you know, like maybe like on a normie debate, like if it was like against me or someone, but like, you know, trying to like come up with full confidence, like with chest, which is, hey, respect coming up with chest, but it's like, dog, like you're going up against the wrong guy.
That I can name off the top of my head. Okay, that's what I just said.
Godlogic, please. Focus on me here. Look at me. No, look at me, please. Look at me. I'm making a point, please. Again, you're researching. No,
I'm not researching anything.
You can research it if you like. It's okay. But the thing is, look at me, please.
I'm sending you the link. Like I don't know everything.
We'll come to the link. I'm just trying to make a point. Can you look at me for a second?
Sure.
Okay. You claim, Godlogic, you claim that you've studied Islamic jurisprudence.
On this subject.
No, on the subject. And you cannot even name the names of the four schools, which is a basic ABC. No, again, please. Now you're interrupting me when I'm speaking, right? Sorry? Can you not interrupt each other? No.
Dude, this is like classic Godlogic debate.
No, I'll finish something and I'll let you speak. Okay, look.
Yes, sorry.
Four schools of thought. You don't even know the names of the four schools of thought, which is a basic babyhood child jurisprudence will know in Islamic studies. But you claim you know the positions of the four jurisprudence schools that you don't know their full names on this matter. Do you know, okay, what did the people who founded these schools of thought are called? What is the name of the founder of... Please, can you look at me and not Google?
I'm just giving you the links, man.
No, don't give me the link. I don't need it now.
The link is in the private chat. I hope that you can put it up. Because now what you're doing...
Okay, you send the link, okay? We'll come to the link. You send the link. Can you look at me now?
So I'm not interested in deflecting off of it. I just want to get straight.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm showing to the viewers whether you are. No, I'm showing to the viewers whether you're saying the truth or you're lying. With all due respect, because to claim that you studied, you claimed you studied the schools of thought and the jurisprudence on this issue.
Which I mean, that could have just been a slip, but I mean, we know this guy. We know this guy.
So can you look at me, please?
Okay. So dude.
Do you agree on something? I want to ask you a question. Look.
How about this?
Look, now you're not letting me speak. Like, what's going on? Like,
you asked me a question. Did you not?
No, no. You're not allowing me to even ask the question yet.
Okay, I'll stay muted. Don't even ask me. Just make your point, and I'll stay muted.
No. This is a discussion. Look, Godlogic,
No.
please. Yeah, Godlogic. I'm just clarifying the point you made. You said you studied the 4 schools of thought. Would you agree with me that the 4 schools of thought of Islam is not a website called Dora.net? The 4 schools of thought of Islam, before the existence of the internet and before websites were made, there are books written on the jurisprudence of the 4 schools of thought. Do you agree with this?
Can I answer you?
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
We can watch that video next stream.
So, on the link, it gives you the ruling from the 4 schools of thought.
Who's the founder of the website? Who's the founder of the website?
Yeah, who made that? Who made DoraTheExplorer.net, yo? Who made DoraTheExplorer.net? All right.
Who's the founder? How do you know he's giving you reliable? You don't know. How do you know he's giving you reliable information?
Look.
You're saying, wait, well, hold on. I gotta read this one. You're saying King Solomon isn't important in Judaism and Christianity, and literally the reason why, according to the Bible, the split of the 2 kingdoms of Israel and Judah is because of how Solomon was having non-believing wives, and he was also worshiping false idols. He's literally the reason for the dissension of the greatest kingdom and also the destruction of the first temple. Yeah, I mean, that statement is actually cringe. It's probably the most important stuff that has happened. First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, and First Kings, Second Kings is probably some of the most important stuff in Judah in Hebrew history, actually.
This is my thing. If you want to criticize,
like, he is the one who built the first temple. Like, he's literally probably one of the most important prophets in the history of Judaism and Christianity.
The person who built the website, then you have all to just do it. Go ahead.
No. I'm criticizing. I'll tell you why I'm criticizing you, not him, because you are the one who made the claim you've done research, and it is not said. It is not research when I Google something on a website and I don't even know who the founder is, and I find information. If I did that with Christianity or other religions, I'll be a mockery in the scenes of
that is facts. That is facts.
And discussions. The reason being is there are books that I open, like the book of the Bible itself, not Googling what the Bible says, but actually opening the Bible itself and reading it. Reading the actual books of the Christian history, what the church father says, quote unquote. This is how you learn. This is the sources of information. Now, you do not even know who are the founders of the 4 schools of thought. You do not know the names of the 2 of the schools of thought.
Which is like, I mean, look, and I'm sure Godlogic knows it now, right? I mean, he's done well for himself. He has like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube or whatever. But I mean, you know, at some point you just got to take the L, right? At some point you just got just take the L. Like, just take the L, move on, be like, hey, you know what? I misslipped. I said something wrong. I apologize. Let's go to the next question. Because now we're just getting baked. Like, this is just like, this isn't even a debate anymore. Unfortunately, this is just like, hey, you made a mistake and you're trying to sidestep. That's not what we're gonna do here.
You don't know the founders. You do not know the name of the books that they've written, because I ask you now, and I can name all of them. The difference between someone who's done the research actually on this matter, I can tell you the names of the books and the names of the mu'tamad, meaning the opinion that is taken in the madhab. They probably you're not aware of that terminology anyways. But the opinion that is taken in the madhab and who wrote the book and everything like that. That doesn't mean I'm boosting my knowledge in this issue, but I'm saying I'm not going to say I've done research unless I've actually done research. And actually doing research is actually opening the sources. The primary source is material, not a website somewhere on Google that puts opinions based on what they think the schools of thought said. Now, to me, look, I told you, it's irrelevant for me. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, and then you can speak. I'm just finishing the statement. It's irrelevant for me what any website says, because I don't need to rely on websites. I've opened the materials.
Which is facts. I mean, we already had someone post some nonsense here before. From what was it? Like atheism versus Islam.com or whatever.org. I mean, you know, not everything you see on the internet is true, folks. And especially about Islam. I mean, come on. That is the biggest joke of all time.
Primary source material.
Dora.net. Yo. So if that domain isn't bought, if it's still up, we'll have to check out for this video.
And what concerns a Muslim, every Muslim, is what the Quran and Sunnah says. So unless you bring me evidences from the Quran, from the Prophet statements, like I gave you when I told you about the harm principle, I give you a hadith, a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, where that principle is derived.
But yeah, we can watch a quick video after this. We have a little bit of time.
This is how things works in the Quran and Sunnah. You bring the evidences from the Quran and Sunnah, and then you use them to demonstrate a position to be accurate or not accurate. So, of course, go ahead. Yes.
Just one question, so I could just get my point. It's simple.
Yes.
Was I correct on when I named 2 of the 4 schools of thought? Was I correct?
What is the names you said? You said Maliki?
What did you say? I said Hanafi and Shafi'i. I didn't mention Maliki yet.
Yes, Hanafi and Shafi'i is correct. Yes.
Yep. So Maliki is a third, and then there's a fourth that's slipping my mind. But
I just told you about Maliki, but yeah.
Dude, just move on. Just it's okay. You don't have the info. It's okay, brother. You're good. Let's talk about some real things.
Other one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. You just reminded me of that one, and then the other one. Thank you so much. Yes. So here's the thing. What you try, and I'm just gonna say my point, because how you tried to frame this is as if, see, you don't even know the 4 schools of thought. You don't even know the 4 schools of thought. You don't know the 4 schools of jurisprudence. You haven't done the research.
I didn't say that,
because you can't name all 4. That's what you pictured. Yet ignoring that I gave you 2 correct names. I gave you 2 correct names, while I admittedly said, while the other 2 are slipping my mind, I don't have to memorize everything. That doesn't mean I didn't do the research. I don't know this. So I think that is
this is just down bad right here. This is down bad.
It's a little slippery move, but it doesn't work here with me. Like that's not.
Unfortunately, this is the thing that happened. This is the reason why, personally, and especially dealing with all the nonsense and comments and whatever the past 2 months now, it's the last thing for myself personally I would want is to have to have an overinflamed ego while doing this, whether I become egotistical when debating someone, or whether I backtrack and try and run away from a conversation as well. Like I said, I have a framework for how I want to have discussions up here, and people have generally respected, which has been awesome. But at the same time, when it becomes an ego battle, I keep saying this on stream, but the ultimate goal is to get into Jannah, right? That is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to get into